Hello class, my name is Diego Cuellar and this is my midterm presentation. The topic I chose was, are most mentally ill people violent? Here are some common assumptions about mentally ill people. First is that they are dangerous. Many people believe that mentally ill individuals are dangerous because mental illness has a bad stigma in our society. This is simply not true for the majority of mentally ill individuals. Secondly, many people believe that mental illnesses are only disorders such as schizophrenia or bipolar, when in reality, those are only a very small percentage of all mental illnesses. The following assumption is that mental illness does not include common issues people have, such as anxiety or depression. Personally, I believe that most teenagers and adults have experienced some form of anxiety or depression in their lives. I have, most of my friends have, so that's something that's very common. These issues are a lot more common than people think. The last assumption is that many individuals think that mentally ill people are outsiders that don't have jobs or responsibilities. You'd be surprised to know that, your best friend could be, going through something, or, it's very common. What makes us believe mentally ill people are violent? Growing up, we have all learned to believe that mental illness is something to be scared of. I remember being a kid and being very afraid to meet someone who suffers from mental illness. I later learned that I thought this way because society has taught me to believe that way. Here are some reasons as to why we might believe that mentally ill people are violent. First is that the news shows a very small percentage of mentally ill people committing horrible crimes such as school shootings, etc. Secondly, many movies illustrate the villain or antagonist as mentally ill. An example would be the Joker from the Batman movies. I believe that this was the most influential reason as to why I was so scared of mental illness. It was because of movies like these. Lastly, there's a negative stigma regarding mental illness in our society. Now that we've learned much about how common mental illness is and how we should not be afraid of it, it's time to debunk this myth. Here are various facts to prove that this is a myth. About only 3 to 5% of mentally ill people conduct violent acts. There is a very small number considering how common mental illness is around the world. Secondly, mental illness is very common. About 1 in 5 American adults have experienced mental health issues. Next is that schizophrenia and major psychotic illnesses represent only 1% of mental illnesses in the United States. The other 99% of all mental illness is depression. I was very surprised to learn this. I did not know that at all. The following is that 1 in 4 people around the world suffer from mental illness. That's more than cancer, diabetes, and heart disease altogether. And after that we have mental illness. Mental and behavioral disorders account for the most time lost to a disability, more than any other kind of disease. Lastly, there is a stigma that only mentally ill people attend therapy. 59 million people in the United States regularly attend therapy. I have attended therapy in the past, which really helped me out whenever I needed it. And if I'm being honest, I should probably do it more often. It really helped me out. After learning about how common mental illness is, it is important to seek help if you need it. Talk to your friends, family, teachers, coworkers. Don't be afraid to consult a therapist too. It is a very common issue around the world, and I believe that if there was more light shed on this topic, that we would be able to save many lives and have a better overall life in our society. That's it.